getting started a little bit later, if I may explain what happened. I was watching the dog this morning and I decided to spoil the dog and make the dog an egg. So I made the dog an egg and he absolutely loved it. It was a wonderful morning for Kodak. And somehow there was like oil that spilled onto the side of the pan handle. I'm just follow me along now. And so then I was getting ready to do the show and I was cleaning up the pans, etc. And I grabbed the pan handle and number one, I dropped the pan on my foot. And number two, I did not realize that there was oil on the pan that had just dropped on my foot. And so I was going to prepare the show equipment, which requires setting it up on a tripod, etc. And I had oil all over my hands, which then got on and into the live streaming camera. It was a disaster. It was a disaster of a start. But nonetheless, we got kicked up, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So if you're Kodak, you have no idea other than you had a nice egg for breakfast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ignition News. I'm so glad to have you. It is March 20th. Let me give you let's see. I forgot to get the trivia. Give me the trivia for the show today. For the show with dates. Jeez. While I'm waiting for that, I got to show you this. I have in my hands here a letter from the city of Las Vegas. It is a bill for $42,000. Why, you're asking, did you get a $42,000 bill from the city of Las Vegas? Excellent question. Well, it is because I have been investigating flock cameras and I filed an open records demand with the city of Las Vegas. And they came back with over 200,000 records over only a 4-month period of time. And so they have sent me a bill for $24.11 in order to access this information. It will take them 1,323 hours. Can someone do the math and find out how many weeks is that? Like a 40-hour week, 1,323 hours. Let's find out how much time that will take them to get that back to us. I think that will be interesting. I think that will be interesting to find out. So yeah, this is a classic attempt by the government to silence the First Amendment. What they do is they charge exorbitant fees in order to prevent you from getting access to that information, or they broaden the scope of the information far beyond, far beyond what is appropriate to try to obfuscate it. They make it really difficult. But this is not my first go around. Do you understand? This is not my first fucking rodeo with public records. And if necessary, I will sue the city. I will get the information necessary. Somebody says 543 days. Thank you. If necessary, we will sue the city of Las Vegas. We will get access to this information. And I think it tells you something. Yeah, 33 work weeks. Insane. So, but think about that. By doing that, they would also delay that. They would also delay that by that amount of time. That is what happens when you live in a country that's operated by a fascist government. It trickles down to your governors. It trickles down to your state representatives. It trickles down to the dog catcher. The fascism bleeds like a rot throughout the entire country. And so there's something going on with the police here. There's something going on with flock safety cameras. But we are going to find out. Welcome to the show, everyone. We have just 4 stories today. We'll get you started on that. If you're new to the show, this is your daily news source. What we do here on the Ignition News is we give you 3 to 5 stories that I think are really important to keep you grounded without the amygdala hijack, without getting you freaked out with the breaking news headlines, to be able to take that information and actually have action steps. It's not just about the news. It's about what do you do with that information. So welcome. Let's get into the stories. The president told you that gas prices would come down, of course. They told you that families would be paying less at the grocery store. They told you that everything was too expensive. And the solution to all of that, of course, was to elect this president. That was what they promised us. That's what they told us. That is a lie. But today's story is all about lies. We have 4 stories about lies today. The first one is about Jessica Foster. Her name is Jessica Foster. She is blonde. She's in the Army. She met Donald Trump at least 6 times. She has posed with Vladimir Putin. She's posed with Volodymyr Zelensky. She's attended Trump's Board of Peace conference and was apparently gifted a bouquet of red roses from the president in the Oval Office on Valentine's Day. This woman has over 1 million followers on Instagram. The problem is that Jessica Foster is not real. She is a completely AI generated character. She has no military service record because she never existed. The Army confirmed they have no record of anyone named with that name. The account at jessica.foster on Instagram launched in December 2025 and spent 4 months pumping out hyper-realistic fabricated images designed to resonate with MAGA. And it worked. Hundreds of thousands of likes per post this account gets. Genuine comments from people thanking her for her military service. But here is what Jessica actually was. The entire account was built to push followers. You're not going to believe this. The entire account was built to push followers to an OnlyFans page where an anonymous operator sold foot fetish content. Her bio on OF said, public servant by day, troublemaker by night. I'm not a robot. Ha, ha, ha. And whoever made the code in the account is making a lot of money. You might be, of course, tempted to laugh at MAGA, who got duped into a fake military person to buy AI feet fetish photos. And sure, that is very funny. It's actually quite hilarious. And these people are just objectively stupid. But here is where I think we have to realize what's happening. It's from a university professor at Boston University says this. She said, the real danger is that we're moving towards a society of unreal, the unreal. These accounts can be weaponized and they can transform a foot fetish grift into a full propaganda infrastructure, an account with 1 million followers that people trust. This is a weapon waiting to be fully loaded. We are currently at war with Iran. The American propaganda apparatus is working overtime, and somebody, an unknown individual, is pretending to be a soldier who has 1 million followers, who says she has met the president, who says she's been to the Board of Peace, but is actually just AI slop designed to sell foot fetish content. And ask yourself this question. This is not just about feet. This is about boots on the ground. Ask yourself what you can believe about the ongoing military conflict in Iran. What reliable information do you have? Can you believe what it is that you see? I saw this very viral video on TikTok. It was purported to be like a missile in the air. And when it zoomed out, it was just like a drawing. Has anyone else seen this? It was like a guy shaking a drawing of a photo on the screen. And I was like, wow, yeah, like we are so wrapped up in information overload. We are so captured by this information. But there's something about the MAGA crowd that does tend to get weaponized into this conversation. And let's be honest, it's not just MAGA getting tricked by this AI shit. It's your grandparents, your parents, even Gen Z. They are not as technically savvy as you might believe. But let us talk about the price of this, because the price of this, of course, is hitting real home. When the war started on February 28th, the average American was paying under $3 a gallon for gas. As of yesterday, that number is sitting at $3.89. I don't know who's paying $3.89 for gas anywhere, candidly. Diesel is under $5 a gallon. In Las Vegas here, it is $5 a gallon for regular gas. What do we got over here? Anybody, what are you paying for gas? I'm curious on the stream what you're paying. Global crude oil spiked to nearly $120 a barrel, and now analysts from Goldman Sachs are predicting that this is going to last for years. We could see triple-digit oil for years. Of course, the root cause is the Strait of Hormuz, a 21-mile choke point in the Persian Gulf that is essentially totally controlled by Iran. The president was in the Oval Office with Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi, hope I said that right, He told reporters that prices are up now, but they will come down when the war is over. And I want you to hear this clearly because the United States, world's largest oil producer, said, quote, "We make a lot of money when oil prices go up." The president. The president said, We make a lot of money when oil prices go up. He's, of course, talking about the oil companies who donated millions of dollars to his presidential campaign. Meanwhile, you have to pay more and more and more. And the cost of fuel is not just about what you pay when you fill up your gas tank. It's about what the Amazon delivery driver pays when they're delivering packages to your door, or what the semi truck has to pay in diesel fuel to bring food to the grocery store, or it is what medication. I don't know that people realize that one of the base of a lot of medication is 569 in Seattle, 450 in Reno, yeah, Carson City. A lot of medicine uses petroleum as a base. I don't know if I'm saying the right word there. But we're also in a situation where that could become impacted as well. Lies, lies, lies. The theme of today is lies. But let's hear about a disgusting lie. A lie from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. On Thursday morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stood at a Pentagon podium and he told the country what he heard when he met one of the fathers of the family of the 6 service members killed in the war in Iran. He said, and I'm reading this carefully right now, "What I heard through tears, through hugs, through strength, and through unbreakable resolve was the same from family after family after family. They said, 'Finish this. Honor their sacrifice. Do not waver. Do not stop until the job is done.'" It's pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? The problem is they didn't say that. Charles Simmons is a 66-year-old music teacher from Columbus, Ohio. His only son, 28-year-old Air Force Tech Sergeant Tyler Simmons, was one of 6 crew members killed when a refueling plane crashed in Iraq on March 12th. Tyler had planned to become a commercial pilot after his service. His father described him as having a magnetic personality, someone who lit up the room that he walked into. Charles Simmons met with Pete Hegseth privately at Dover Air Force Base, and when NBC asked him whether he told Hegseth to finish the job, his answer was direct. No, I didn't say anything along those lines. When he spoke to me, that was not something that we talked about. What he actually told Pete Hegseth was, "I understand there is a lot of peril that goes into making decisions like this. I certainly hope the decisions being made are necessary." That is not finish the job. That is a father who lost his only son asking a question that is delicately wrapped in a lot more restraint than I think most of us have. How dishonorable of the Secretary of Defense, this man who is eminently unqualified for this job, to disrespect the love and memory of this man's only child who is now gone. Charles Simmons was a very gracious man. He gave the Secretary of Defense a lot of grace, a lot of the benefit of the doubt. You are not under a similar obligation to offer the benefit of the doubt to these war criminals. You are not under such obligation. Think of the delicate balance these military families have to pay because you live in a time in a country where our Christian nationalist fascist Secretary of Defense is actively punishing members of the military who speak out by stripping them of their pensions. Imagine what he might do to the family of a fallen soldier if they dared to speak out against this president. After paying the ultimate sacrifice, I assure you that Pete Hegseth will find some more sacrifice for those families to have. And that is truly dishonorable. Using the memories of our fallen brothers and sisters to make propaganda about a war that Congress has not authorized. What is the end of all this? Good morning and welcome to the Ignition News. This show is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Substack, and YouTube. I do want to let you know that we've crossed a bit of a milestone that I'm very proud of. We have crossed my goal threshold on Spotify, so I'm really glad of that. That means that I will be not as I don't have the energy to keep pumping out every day, every show. So we are going to transition. Today will be our show is going to go Monday through Friday without breaking news. So if something breaking happens on Saturday, we might, or Sunday, we might stream the show. But because we crossed that threshold, I need to step back a little bit for my own mental sanity. And we're going to move the show to Monday through Friday. And then eventually we're going to have a nice dedicated streaming slot for you to be able to find the show regularly. But this will be the last show of this week. And I do want to remind you to go follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and download the existing episodes, because we do publish episodes that are not streamed live. I did promise that I would read some comments. So I want to read some comments from Spotify that I thought were really important. Someone said 2 days ago, I needed this today. Honestly, I've been taking a small break from politics because it was getting overwhelming, but I am becoming more hopeful. Even with Kat Abu-Ghazaleh losing, it brings a lot of hope to the future of the progressive movement here. Very nicely said. Someone says, the censorship is off the chains. A crazy thing, though, is most people are not even aware of it. That's true. Here's another comment. Let's hope the viral response to this bullshit is that everyone going to a protest will wear black, a perfect, not going to say that on the stream, but thank you for following the show. All right. Another one says, counter hegemony. We are the counter hegemony. We are and we will together change the direction of our country. Yes, we will. Another one says, speak the truth even if it hurts. Yeah. Heck yeah. Our final story today is just kind of a silly madness recap of everything that's happening. And that is that apparently the president thinks he's going to live to be 200 years old. During a White House dinner with the same Japanese prime minister, the president still had these very visible bruising on his hands. Photographers have repeatedly captured what medical reporting has identified as chronic venous insufficiency, gigantic cankles. Trump's explanation for the bruising is that he takes a high dose of aspirin. Meanwhile, the president has been telling rally crowds about a doctor, you remember Ronnie Jackson, saying that he would live to be 200 years old. With a 79-year-old president clearly not doing well, everything around gas prices, food prices, the Secretary of War lying about the memory of fallen soldiers, and the president apparently thinks that he is going to live to be 200 years old. This is the man who made the decision to strike Iran. This is the man who made the decision to do all of these things. And he's telling people not to worry because he's going to live for 2 centuries. You have an AI fake soldier pretending to be MAGA. You have a real actual war that is illegal, that is draining your bank account. You have a Secretary of War. Oh, I said it. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Who is lying about the service, about the fallen soldiers and what their families are actually saying. And then you have a president who thinks he's going to live 200 years. And I said it was about lies, but it's actually not about lies. What it's about is contempt. This is about contempt for your perception of reality. It really, truly is. Contempt for your intelligence. Contempt for your wallet. Contempt for the grief of family members who have lost service members. But most of all, contempt for the truth. Jessica Foster is fake. Finish the job is fake. But the gas prices are real. You are really paying those prices. The man who is the center of this, he's telling you don't worry about it because his genes are extraordinary. Contempt. Contempt for the truth. Thank you for following the show, everybody. This is the Ignition News. On this day that we've crossed this major milestone, I just want to thank everyone for following the show, for participating, for following us on your favorite podcast platform. I do want to take a moment to recognize and say thank you to the moderators over on TikTok who've helped propel us as far as we are. I have a feeling that we are entering sort of the beginning of something awesome for what we're trying to do. We have in the last the last year, we've built a really important community. We've built a group of people who are trying to make the world a better place in spite of enormous challenge and enormous difficulty. And I don't know about you, but if I reflect back on how I feel now versus how I felt a year ago, each day, in spite of the challenge, in spite of what's come at us, I feel stronger. And I hope that you feel stronger as well. I hope that you find the mission of building 1,000 leaders in 1,000 different communities, that we take that action and that we provoke and cause radical change. I am just a person. I am just a man. But I've been doing this a very long time. And along the way, I've met people and I have seen things that have fundamentally changed my life. Each one of those things has moved me in a different direction, but each one of those things has taught me a very simple truth. Justice, action, and decency are what this is all about. Elon Musk may be a trillionaire someday, very soon. The president may indeed live to be 200 years old. But at the end of the day, none of us can take any of those things with us but for the mark that we leave with other people. But for the impact that we provide on our community. And it doesn't always feel like it in the moment. But let me end where I started. Somewhere, something is happening in my city, in my town. And somehow some lawyer in the city attorney office of Las Vegas is trying to stop me from finding out. Not because they particularly don't like me, but because I know that somewhere in these 200,000 pages, there's something that is a truth that is probably either hurting my community or preventing it from being better. And so the city, with the mechanisms and levers of its government, with its lawyers and with its regulations, is trying to prevent me from getting that information. It wouldn't do that if it thought that the information didn't prove that they were in fact up to something. And they are. But we will find out. All of you in your communities, your cities, your state, your country, all of you can do something like that as well. You can push back. You can find out the truth about your community. And whether it is one action or 100 action or one person or 100 people, you can make the world a better place. That's the show, everybody. It's March 20th, 2026. Thank you for following the Ignition News.